Hi, my name's Chad Young. I'm a digestion and nutrition specialist with a physiology degree from the Ohio State University. Today we're going to be talking about what is probably the most common digestive issue that the majority of the population is experiencing. Most individuals aren't aware that they even have the problem. And that problem is lack of stomach acid to be able to break down the protein that they're eating into a usable form, and also to neutralize any invaders that come into the body. So just by focusing on this one digestive issue could pay big dividends for an individual who is struggling with health issues due to lack of resources. So we'll go through today and look at this real close. It's something that we should have been taught at a young age. All we're trying to do is make sure when we eat a meal, if our body senses that it needs to produce a certain amount of stomach acid, it has the ability to do that for that meal. That's all we're trying to do, is to help the body function the way that it was intended to function. So step one, after you swallow your food, we really need to learn how to monitor and maintain this. We were never properly introduced to this at a young age. So when the food gets down into the stomach, the actual walls of your stomach secrete stomach acid. It's supposed to have this substance depending on the size of the meal. The more protein, the more stomach acid needed, or if it senses any invaders, the body's immune system tries to create more stomach acid to overtake those invaders as they enter the stomach. So the functions of stomach acid is to break down protein, sterilize food, and maintain the pH. Most individuals are deficient in stomach acid production and they are not aware of it. In a healthy digestive tract, a sufficient amount of stomach acid is produced to fully overtake the food. Over time, even a small portion of undigested food can create health problems. Stomach acid is a ratio. The body determines how much it needs per meal. A common mistake is people take antacids because they think their body's producing too much stomach acid. That is not the case. The body does not waste resources. It's not going to produce more stomach acid than is needed. When people feel acid reflux, that's due to not enough stomach acid, and they have a real alkaline, maybe a bacterial overgrowth in their stomach. When there is a little stomach acid, it has a reaction and it doesn't neutralize. You still get a reaction even though there's low stomach acid. That's why people are confused about acid reflux. If there was appropriate amount of stomach acid, it would neutralize and would not fizz anymore. Even when there's no food in the stomach, there's still some presence of stomach acid. So it's important for the body to be able to produce that to keep a sanitary environment. The more protein that is contained in the meal, the more stomach acid that's needed to be produced to break down and overtake that meal. The problem occurs when the body cannot produce enough stomach acid relative to a particular meal high in protein. So proper stomach acid has to do with the amount of stomach acid that's needed to actually be produced and supplied during a particular meal. Once stomach acid overtakes the food, it'll start to move down into the intestines. and it has a chemical reaction with the bile. This is what liberates and frees the nutrition from the food. This is the key component to human digestion. The first thing our meal does is it gets overtaken by stomach acid, starts to break down the protein, kills all the invaders, microbes, parasites. Then it moves into the small intestines to the second step. When the body senses this acidic food leaving the stomach, it releases bile to cool down the stomach acid, and there's a chemical reaction that occurs. So as the food moves and is breaking it down, as it moves into the small intestines, it squirts out bile and bicarbonate, and they mix. They hit each other right here. And here's the reaction. This is what liberates all the nutrients from the food. You can see that reaction. It's just breaking the food apart. This is the key chemical reaction so special to our digestive system that frees the nutrition, which is the whole purpose of eating the food in the first place. If someone was working on their health, an excellent place to start is to make sure that their digestive tract does have the ability to excrete as many nutrients from the food as possible. If someone wanted to focus on that, they would make sure that they had no signs of lack of stomach acid and make sure that they had no signs of poor bile flow. That would be a good place to start for someone focusing on their health. Once this reaction happens, the protein's broken down into amino acids. If that reaction does not happen, the protein ends up down into the intestines undigested. Bacteria can grow in environments that are a certain pH. Stomach pH of 4.5 or lower is needed to support immune function and general sanitation. As bacteria enters our system, our stomach and body senses will automatically start to produce hydrochloric acid to help kill off this invader. It's important that we ensure that our body has the ability to produce hydrochloric acid. So the lower the pH, the more acidic, the higher, the more alkaline. If an individual does not have enough stomach acid, their stomach could be too alkaline. A good way to think about this is if you think about ketchup. Our tomato, if you just set it out on a table, would start to rot because the pH is too high and bacteria starts to feed on it and it rots. That's why they add vinegar to ketchup because it lowers the pH down around 4.5 or lower, which kills the invaders. Our stomach is the same way. If it's not the right pH, bacteria can grow in the stomach. So as bacteria enters our system, it's happy to live there because the environment, as your body senses this, it's trying to produce hydrochloric acid. But if the resources are not there, it cannot produce the hydrochloric acid. We want hydrochloric acid because it's below a pH of 1. And what that does is it sanitizes the stomach and kills this bacteria that's not supposed to be living there. It's normal for bacteria to come into the stomach. It does all day. The problem occurs is when there's not enough stomach acid to keep the stomach environment healthy and free of bacteria. Keeping proper stomach acid as the bacteria comes in, we produce stomach acid to kill the invaders. along with breaking down the protein. It has a very important immune function and general sanitation function. Low stomach acid allows for bacteria to thrive throughout the digestive system. They eat undigested food, which gives off gases like methane. These gases cause many symptoms like discomfort and inflammation, and it's forced out of your body. This methane gas that the bacteria gives off from eating your good food that wasn't digested properly. So let's take a visual on what this looks like. So some bacteria comes into your system with some food and it starts to eat and multiply, giving off this methane gas, and it causes burping and bloating. Then it moves down into your intestines undigested. It breeds more bacteria and continues to eat and rot the food. So let's look at a bigger inside of the stomach. It just attracts bacteria. It's a breeding ground, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're surviving. They're eating your undigested food and giving off gas, and it's causing you to pass gas and burp. This is due to lack of stomach acid, allowing bacteria to come into the body and not be neutralized or killed, and then it lives in the stomach and moves down into the intestines and lives there also. This can be very uncomfortable. The body needs chloride to defend itself. A lot of people are not familiar with chloride. Chloride is a mineral that is highly concentrated in unrefined salt, and it's also in high chloride foods. Let's compare this to a swimming pool. If the pH of the water gets out of range, bacteria can start to live in the water. And we know this because it turns the pool water green. So by watching signs of bacteria, we know that the pool water may need some help to get back to a proper range that's appropriate for us to use it. So we add chlorine. Chlorine is a form of chloride. It's just the gas form. It kills the bacteria that's in the water. So maintaining the pH prevents bacteria. The same is true for our digestive system. That bacteria enters our system just like it entered the pool water, and it starts to live there, and it will live there unless there's something that can defend it off. The way we know that this could be happening is we have signs of acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, burping, passing gas, constipation. Those are all clear signs that an individual has low stomach acid and there is bacteria living in their digestive system. So chloride is what's needed so the body can defend itself. Just like chlorine, it's a form of chloride, but this is the ion form, not the gas form. So by ensuring that we're getting enough of this in our diet, our body's able to produce hydrochloric acid. Our main sources of chloride will come from unrefined salt, not table salt, unrefined salt that has not been processed. So it's straight out of the ground or the sea, and other high chloride foods. Our body has evolved and designed to where we can use chloride in water to make hydrochloric acid. It's just like a recipe. You have to make sure you have the ingredients for the end product to be able to be made. So chloride is a very important mineral people would want to make sure they're getting enough of in their diet if they're experiencing symptoms of low stomach acid. This will kill off the invaders, help improve the symptoms. By making sure we have enough chloride in our diet, our body can produce hydrochloric acid, and it will do the same thing in cleaning and maintaining a proper healthy environment in our digestive tract. So let's look at some symptoms and signs of low stomach acid production. This is very important because our health depends on it. If you have any of these signs or symptoms, improving these could improve your health. Acid reflux, bloating, burping, passing gas, heartburn. bad breath, constipation, bacterial overgrowth, muscle loss, and low thyroid. Low thyroid is something that is more of a health issue that occurs over time because lack of stomach acid over time can produce more serious health issues. There's no specific test for monitoring stomach acid. The way that you monitor stomach acid is by the symptoms. So, what causes poor stomach acid production in the first place? Lack of nutritional resources, in particular chloride. You're not getting it in your diet, or you're not breaking it down, or you're avoiding unrefined salt, salt that's straight out of the ground. But remember, if we don't have enough chloride in our system, that's the ingredient our body mixes with water to make hydrochloric acid. That's how our digestive system has evolved. We're supposed to have chloride and hydrochloric acid. So all we're doing is learning how our body is supposed to work and what fluids are supposed to be present for proper digestion. Signs of if we don't have the proper fluids in the right place or right amount to do the proper digestion, then we can look at what's causing it and what steps to correct it. So any digestive issues, HCl and bile flow, anything that disrupts resources getting out of the food and being absorbed by the body or being excreted properly can affect any functions in the body. A lot of people are alkalizing with water and supplements for different reasons. Many people are misinformed on how pH and the alkalinity of your body and acidity of your body works. So just know that alkalizing water and supplementing with alkalizing products decreases stomach acid. They're shutting off their digestive system by shutting off their acid, and that creates all kind of problems over a period of time. Things that can improve stomach acid. Well, be aware of the symptoms. People think burping, bloating, passing gas is normal. That's normal for poor digestion in people that have health issues. You want to increase unrefined salt intake, not table salt. Table salt's been refined, and that strips the minerals and the ratios of the salt. So we want unrefined salt. A great brand is Real Salt. I like to use Real Salt in a lot of my co-practitioners and clients because it's not real strong tasting, so you can get more in your system and get the benefits of it helping you make the hydrochloric acid. Some salts are stronger and some people like those. This is just one example of an unrefined salt. If you're not familiar with salt, this would be a good one to start with. If you look at a package of salt, most people aren't aware of this, but chloride is the main ingredient. They think of sodium being in salt, and it is. There's a lot of sodium in salt, and sodium's not bad. Our body needs it. So when people are consuming too much sodium without these other minerals, our body has evolved. It doesn't recognize processed foods and processed salts, so it can stay in your blood longer and the sodium floating around. It can give other side effects. So it's important to understand salt that I'm referring to is unrefined salt. For example, Real Salt. A great way to help improve stomach acid, in addition to providing chloride, we have found that people have a lot of success using beta-tene HCl. That's hydrochloric acid that's made from beetroot, so it's a natural product. The purpose of using this is while you're improving your digestion, starting to increase chloride and take care of other digestive issues, this supplement can be very beneficial because it helps you break down each meal that you're eating. So higher protein meals, an individual with weak digestion that's experiencing digestive issues would supplement with this to help break down that meal. And by doing that, it increases the nutrition from that meal and helps provide that individual with the resources they need to start producing hydrochloric acid on their own. So the beta-tene HCl we use, it helps break down the meal to provide the resources the body needs. In doing that, it also prevents the undigested food from going through the tract anymore. So until a person improves their digestion, there's digestive aids can help them until their body can start functioning on their own properly again. increase foods high with chloride. You still need strong digestion to break the chloride out of the foods. And a common mistake I see is people drinking too many fluids around meals. If you eat a high protein meal and you are producing stomach acid and you drink a bunch of water, it dilutes the stomach acid and the digestion for that meal. And your body can produce more hydrochloric acid. It's sensing how much it needs. But remember, if you don't have enough chloride, you can't keep producing stomach acid. So now that you understand that protein needs to be broken down, you want to give your stomach an opportunity to do that when you eat a high protein meal. Try to avoid excessive fluids during or around meals. As we mentioned before, alkaline water, not only does water dilute the meal, it actually neutralizes stomach acid. Now, a person with high blood pressure or electrolyte excess would want to correct that issue before increasing any type of salt intake. A person looking to supplement with HCl will want to ensure that their bile is flowing into the intestines. The way that we do that is by monitoring saliva pH and make sure that it's over 6.5 before they qualify to start using hydrochloric acid. We want to ensure that that's being cooled off before it enters the lower intestines. So there is a pre-requirement before just starting hydrochloric acid supplementation. So at Digest Real Food, you can go to Digestive Coaching. There's also a link below this video. And throughout the website, it's on the sidebar also. This is a program that's been highly successful. I've seen many other people use this approach to be effective in figuring out what is causing the underlying issues that's contributing to different symptoms that individual may be experiencing. What I do is I help you interpret what your test scores and your symptoms are indicating. And then I show you what I would do if I was faced with the same test scores and symptoms, educate you on what other people have done successfully when they found themselves in the same situation or dealing with the same issues. Once I upload that report to your account, it's normal you'll have some questions, so I'm available to answer those questions. So it's just like a personal training session to get up to speed on what you're doing, how to do it, and this walks you through everything. So on the sign up page here, you want to make sure you check out the client requirements. It's just a release form. Once you sign up, you can go to Coalition for Health Education. That's just where you set up your online account to plug in any test scores and self-test. So if you're not familiar with these self-tests, they're not difficult to do. It's just they need to be explained to you. You click on self-test here, and it will take you to the self-testing page on my site. As you can see, here's the program again. And this will show you the equipment you need. I highly recommend these strips. The other strips are very difficult to read. The whole purpose of testing is to get accurate readings. So most people use their phone for the timer. Most people will have to purchase some pH strips, these good ones that are easy to read for urine and saliva pH. It's also nice to have your own blood pressure monitor so you can get consistent readings at home. And it'll have the tracking sheets and everything. But you don't have to be concerned with all that. The first step is to get signed up. Come on to this page. Make sure that you can meet these requirements. And then you want to go ahead, and if you're ready to help your body start functioning, and you're ready to learn how to take effective steps, you want to click here. Now, as soon as you sign up, I'll be sending you a detailed email. So don't get too caught up in trying to figure everything out because this walks you through it. And this program's nice because a lot of people are busy. They don't have time to trial and error. They don't have time to go out and educate themselves on what to do and how to do it. It makes sense to do a program that's addressing underlying causes and clearly demonstrates to you why you're taking certain steps to get a desired result. I'm really excited to work with you. I hope you take the initiative to improve your health, and I'm here to help you when you are ready. I hope to hear from you soon.